cold. Open. What if I told you McDonald's isn't actually in the burger business? No flip. No trick question. I'm dead serious. The company that sold you a Big Mac at 2 in the morning, the one with the golden arches burned into your brain since childhood, that company doesn't make most of its money from food. It makes it from something you'd never guess while you're standing in line for fries: land. McDonald's owns and controls a real estate empire worth over $40 billion. It collects rent from thousands of restaurants every single month, whether those restaurants are busy or empty, whether they're profitable or bleeding cash. And the man who built this system said it out loud decades ago in a sentence that should be taught in every business school in America. We're not in the hamburger business. We're in the real estate business. That's Ray Kroc. And by the time we're done here, you're going to understand exactly what he meant and why it turned a single hamburger stand in California into one of the most quietly dominant financial machines on the planet. Why everyone gets it wrong. Ask 100 people what McDonald's does, and you'll get the same answer 100 times. Burgers, fries, maybe the McFlurry if they're feeling nostalgic. And that's not wrong exactly, it's just incomplete. It's like describing Apple as a company that sells phones and stopping there. You're seeing the product. You're not seeing the machine underneath it. Here's the thing about McDonald's that almost nobody clocks. The company doesn't run most of its own restaurants. Out of roughly 45,000 locations worldwide, close to 95% are run by independent franchisees, regular people who signed a contract, put up their own money, and now flip burgers under that golden arch every single day. McDonald's corporate isn't back there grilling patties. McDonald's corporate is doing something far more interesting. It's collecting checks. To understand how that happened, you have to go back to the beginning. Not the flashy beginning everyone thinks they know. The real one. The origins. In 1940, two brothers named Richard and Maurice McDonald opened a barbecue restaurant in San Bernardino, California. It did fine, not great, fine. Car hops, a big menu, the usual slow service you'd expect from a drive-in back then. Then in 1948, the brothers did something almost nobody in the restaurant industry had tried. They shut the whole thing down, stripped the menu to 9 items, and rebuilt the kitchen like an assembly line. Burgers, fries, and shakes, made fast, made cheap, made consistent. They called it the speedy service system. Customers didn't wait 15 minutes anymore. They got their food in 30 seconds. It was radical. It was also, unknowingly, the birth of modern fast food. Now here's where the story turns. In 1954, a milkshake machine salesman named Ray Kroc got curious about a restaurant in California that had ordered 8 of his multi-mixers at once, enough to make 40 shakes simultaneously. He drove out to see it for himself, and what he found stunned him. Lines out the door. A kitchen running like a machine. Teenagers in paper hats moving with military precision. Kroc didn't see a burger stand. He saw a system that could be copied in every town in America. He convinced the McDonald brothers to let him franchise it nationally. And in 1955, he opened his own McDonald's in Des Plaines, Illinois, as the flagship of a growing chain. But here's the part most people skip. Kroc built franchise after franchise, and the business was growing, but it wasn't making him rich. Franchisees paid small fees, McDonald's earned thin margins, and the company was constantly cash-strapped. Kroc was successful on paper and broke in practice. He needed something bigger. That something came from a man named Harry Sonneborn, a financial advisor Kroc brought on board. And Sonneborn is the guy history forgot, the one who actually invented the business model that's made McDonald's a financial superpower. The billion-dollar secret Sonneborn's idea was deceptively simple. Instead of just franchising the McDonald's name and recipe, the company would lease or buy the land underneath every restaurant. Then it would turn around and lease that same land to the franchisee. At a markup, think about what that does. McDonald's corporate secures the property, often in the best possible location, a busy intersection, a spot near a highway exit, a corner with heavy foot traffic. Then a franchisee comes in wanting to open a restaurant. To get that prime real estate, they don't just pay McDonald's a franchise fee. They pay rent. And that rent isn't a flat number. It's typically calculated as a percentage of the restaurant's monthly sales, with a guaranteed minimum built in no matter what. So picture a franchisee running a location that pulls in $3 million a year in sales. If McDonald's collects a royalty of around 5%, that's $150,000 a year in pure royalty income, on top of separate rent payments tied to that same sales figure. Multiply that across tens of thousands of restaurants worldwide, and you start to see why this isn't a rounding error. It's the whole engine. And the beauty of it, from McDonald's side, is that it doesn't matter if the burgers are great that quarter or if the fries were undercooked on a Tuesday. As long as the franchisee is selling food, McDonald's is getting paid. The rent flows in like clockwork. By 2025, franchised restaurants were generating over $16 billion a year in rent, royalties, and fees for McDonald's corporate, with rent alone making up the largest single piece of that pie. That's not a side hustle. That's the backbone of the entire company's profit. Why this model is pure genius? Here's why this structure is one of the smartest things ever built in American business. First, it creates unbelievably predictable cash flow. Restaurants might have a slow month because of weather, or a competitor opening down the street, or a viral food trend pulling customers elsewhere. But people still need to eat, and burgers are cheap comfort food in good times and bad. That means the rent checks keep coming, recession or no recession. Second, it pushes almost all of the operational risk onto someone else. The franchisee is the one hiring staff, dealing with turnover, managing food costs, handling a broken ice cream machine at 11 at night. McDonald's corporate isn't sweating any of that. It's collecting rent on a building it controls, with someone else doing all the heavy lifting inside it. Third, and this is the part real estate investors quietly love, the land itself appreciates. McDonald's has been buying property near busy roads and growing suburbs for 70 years. A corner lot that cost a few $1,000s in 1965 might be worth millions today, simply because the city grew up around it. McDonald's didn't just build restaurants, it built a real estate portfolio that grows in value every single year, whether anyone buys a single burger or not. And fourth, it gives the company long-term stability that pure restaurant chains can only dream of. If a competitor's food goes out of style, that competitor's entire business is in danger. If McDonald's food goes out of style for a decade, the company still owns the dirt. It still owns the buildings. It can lease that property to someone else, rebrand, pivot, adapt, because the foundation isn't a menu. It's a map. How franchisees actually make money. Now you might be wondering, if McDonald's is squeezing rent and royalties out of every location, why does anyone still want to be a franchisee? Because even after all those payments, it can still be a genuinely profitable business for the right person with the right capital. Opening a McDonald's isn't cheap. Total startup costs typically range from around $1 million to over $2 million, depending on the location, the building, and whether you're buying an existing restaurant or building new. On top of that, franchisees pay an initial fee of around $45,000 just for the rights to open the restaurant. Then come the ongoing payments. Royalties usually land around 4 to 5% of gross sales. Rent varies by location, but is often tied to a percentage of sales as well. And franchisees are on the hook for everything else: labor, ingredients, utilities, maintenance, marketing contributions, insurance, and repairs. After all of that, a well-run location can still produce solid six-figure profits annually for its owner. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's closer to buying a small, demanding business with training wheels, a proven system, national advertising, supply chain support, and decades of brand trust already built in. For franchisees willing to put in the hours, it works. And it's worked well enough that people wait years, sometimes over a decade, for the chance to open one. The numbers that tell the real story. Let's zoom out and look at the scale of what we're actually talking about. McDonald's operates in more than 100 countries with over 45,000 restaurants worldwide. Roughly 95% of those are franchised, meaning the company itself directly runs only a small slice of the locations wearing its name. In 2025, the company's total revenue crossed $26 billion. Of that franchised restaurant revenue, the rent, the royalties, the fees, came in above $16 billion, representing the majority of the company's operating profit. Company-run restaurants, the ones McDonald's actually operates itself, brought in close to $10 billion in sales. But after paying for food, labor, and every operating cost, the profit margin on that piece was dramatically thinner. And then there's the real estate itself. McDonald's property holdings have been estimated at well over $40 billion in value, a portfolio so large and so strategically placed that some analysts have half-jokingly called the company the greatest real estate investment trust that never officially became one. Put simply, McDonald's makes more money being a landlord to burger restaurants than it does actually flipping the burgers. Why competitors can't catch up? So why hasn't every fast food chain in America copied this exact playbook? Some have tried, but McDonald's has a 70-year head start on buying land in the right places at the right prices before anyone else knew those corners would matter. You can't recreate that timing. A competitor today has to buy that same land at today's inflated prices, which crushes the economics that made the model so powerful in the first place. There's also the matter of sheer scale. With tens of thousands of locations, McDonald's can negotiate supply costs, marketing budgets, and construction contracts at a size almost no rival can match. That means cheaper beef, cheaper buns, cheaper everything, spread across a network big enough to make every fraction of a cent matter. And then there's brand trust, something that sounds soft until you realize what it actually does. A McDonald's in rural Ohio and a McDonald's in downtown Tokyo taste almost identical. That consistency, built over decades, means customers walk in already trusting what they're about to get. That trust is worth more than any advertising budget could buy, and it's nearly impossible for a newer chain to replicate quickly. Competitors like Burger King, Wendy's, and Yum Brands' portfolio of chains all run versions of the franchise model. But none of them own real estate as aggressively or as strategically as McDonald's does, which means structurally they're renting their own future growth from someone else, while McDonald's is often the landlord collecting the check. The cracks in the empire. But let's not pretend this machine is bulletproof. McDonald's is facing real pressure, and it's coming from multiple directions at once. Inflation has pushed food and labor costs up across the entire industry, squeezing franchisee margins and making that dollar menu nostalgia feel further away every year. Rising minimum wages in states like California have made staffing dramatically more expensive, forcing some franchisees to raise prices and lean harder into self-service kiosks just to keep the math working. Then there's the health conversation. A generation raised on wellness culture, GLP-1 medications, and constant nutrition content on social media is eating differently than their parents did. Fast food isn't disappearing, but it's no longer the default choice it once was for a huge chunk of younger consumers. Competition has diversified too. It's not just other burger chains anymore. It's fast casual concepts, ghost kitchens, and delivery-only brands that don't need a single physical dining room to compete for the same customer's attention. And digital disruption cuts both ways. Mobile ordering and delivery apps have opened new revenue channels, but they've also introduced new costs, new complexity, and new expectations from customers who now compare wait times against apps, not just other restaurants. What comes next? So, where does a company like this go from here? The next chapter is already being written in the technology McDonald's is quietly rolling out. Artificial intelligence is being tested in drive-thrus to take orders more accurately and faster than a human ever could during a lunch rush. Automation is creeping into the kitchen, handling repetitive tasks like fries and drink dispensing, freeing up human staff for the parts of the job machines still can't do well. Mobile ordering keeps expanding, training an entire generation of customers to order ahead, skip the counter, and grab their food without ever speaking to a person. Delivery partnerships have turned McDonald's into a business that shows up on your phone as easily as it shows up on the corner of Main Street. And internationally, growth hasn't slowed down. Emerging markets across Asia and the Middle East are opening new locations at a pace that rivals the company's biggest growth years in America decades ago. Every new restaurant that opens, wherever it is in the world, adds another rent check, another royalty stream, another piece of real estate to a portfolio that just keeps compounding. The burgers are the story customers see. The real estate is the story shareholders understand. Final takeaway. So here's where we land. McDonald's doesn't dominate the world because it sells burgers. It dominates because decades ago, a financial advisor named Harry Sonneborn looked at a struggling burger chain and saw something nobody else did. A way to build wealth, not from what people were buying, but from the ground they were standing on when they bought it. Every drive-through you've ever passed, every corner lot with those golden arches lit up at night. That's not just a restaurant. That's a piece of one of the most patient, most disciplined real estate strategies ever built. Quietly collecting rent, decade after decade, long after the fries have gone cold. McDonald's didn't just sell you a meal, it built an empire on the dirt beneath it. And it did it so quietly. Most of us never even noticed we were standing on someone else's billion-dollar business.